Okay, today is Tuesday, 7:19 p.m. It is May 13th. Oh, hang on. I need to I need to clean the lens. So today I was trading both my accounts today, and I I essentially got chopped up today. The reason that I got chopped up is because I was essentially trading in the range bound area. Okay. So what I look back and I was wondering, okay, so so one of the trades that I took is a green candle. So I took it as a long, and then it reversed as soon as I got in. So what I noticed is that what I've concluded is this: there are two there are okay, so there are two main types of the way that the forex pair moves. One of them is going sideways, range bound, and the other is moving in a trend. Okay, it either goes up or it goes down. And also, there are three types essentially. Three types of trending situation. The first is just a parabolic move. The other is, which essentially it's a very tightly bound trend. The second is a essentially it's essentially a narrow toggling. Okay, it zigzags up. Okay, that's the second part. The third part is wide ranging, kind of a type of a trend. Okay, and so what I noticed is that sometimes what it would do is even though it's but when something is tightly trending. Okay, so even though it's moving in a trend, what it will do is it'll move up and then it'll drop down. It'll move up and drop down. It'll move up and drop down. So sometimes what I'll do is when it goes up, it's green. Okay, then I get in and then it drops. And of course I'm thinking, okay, so now it hit my stop loss in my mental stop loss, and I had to get out. And so I've noticed that when something is range bound, or when it is in a situation where it's tightly in a is in a tight trend, what sometimes will happen is that I will get in and I'll get chopped up, and that's what happened today. I looked at all these trades and I'm looking at it. I don't know if you can see this, but I mean I was trading right here, right there. See, it's tightly bound right there, and I was like being chopped up right there. Look at that. So the lesson is, which I already knew. That's the lesson, but it's in a range bound area, and I can get chopped up so easily, and I have to be cautious about that. And so, if something is range bound, even if it's trending, then I have to abide by the rules of range bound kind of a type of a trading. So uh, that's the way that I need to trade, as well as the integration of, as well as the range bound type of trading, plus the trending when it's trending. But when it's moving sideways, range bound, then I have to realize that if it's a green candle, if it's near a resistance area, I am I cannot expect the green candle to create a continuation. It'll essentially hit that resistance and drop. And I did that all. I mean, I did that all now. I mean, it was doing this. I mean, like from last night to this morning. I'm like my voice. I almost lost my voice. I'm like screaming at myself, "You better stop trading!" But I couldn't. I couldn't. I was just trapped. Fortunately, I did manage to draw down both of my challenges almost 5%, but I was able to save it. And so I'll be able to make that adjustment and somehow figure this out. Coincidentally, when I was at the restaurant, okay, so today's my prep day. I worked there for about 3 hours. So the restaurant has on a Friday and a Saturday, there's like big hunk of meat. It's a prime meat. It's a beef, and it is high quality meat. It's not like one of those rump roast kind of a meat. It's prime meat. And so after customers buys it, there's a few that are left over, and so I had to chop them up to make something. Yeah, I forget what it is, but so we make those. Okay, stroganoff. Okay, we use the prime meat to make stroganoff, and I was chopping it. So there's a certain size that I need to do. So there's a corresponding type of a thing that reminded me, hey, look, you were being chopped up all day today, right? And I chopped the prime meat. So what I need to do, what I need to do is be aware that my strategy has to be different. It has to be different. That's why I have to be dynamic. Just yesterday, I was like on a roll. I mean, like 4 straight days of green days, and then my mind was at ease. Okay, so my mind becomes. I mean, oh man, I'm thinking to myself, I got this. I got this. My voice is calm. I'm like enjoying trading. All I have to do is trade a little bit, and then it was easy because I could trade it, and it was behaving exactly how I anticipated to be behaving. And then yesterday I come back from washing dishes, and then I start to trade, and there is that lag in my body and the mind, and I started to deteriorate, and then the market every time I get in, it would be it would immediately turn opposite, and I would and then I do the opposite, then it would flip over and do the opposite. I mean, that kind of thing happened throughout all night, and I was trying to pull my hair, right? And I was like, it's a good thing that nobody's here at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trading. The good Lord probably heard whatever I said, right? But nobody's here at 3 o'clock in the morning. Boy, it was a battle. Didn't get much sleep, but this is a type of situation where the market changes, and what it worked for like a week, suddenly it doesn't work because the conditions has changed, the structure has changed, the way that it moves has changed. So if I were to dial that and change it into like a 5 minute candle, it will consolidate all those zigzags and consolidate into a single candle. But when I was looking at it in a 1 minute candle, I mean, it was all over the place by the results that I've seen. And so I literally just got chopped up. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just got chopped up. I just have to record that. Okay. This is I'm trying to. Okay, so the boss at the restaurant, he's a Catholic. Okay, and so he mentioned something about like switching on to becoming a Catholic, right? Like the saints, they're switched on. They don't toggle back. Now, President Trump is in Saudi Arabia, and he was talking about this. He says something about, okay, if you make friends with the United States, we're a strong ally for the duration. We don't switch in and out. We don't do that. Okay, that's what he said. So what that means is that once you're in, you're in. You don't go out. It's a long-term relationship, right? And so trading, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so how do I get into that state? Just like the Saints, okay? The Saints, so the boss comes over about a week ago and he says, "Oh, his father is a deacon, Catholic deacon, and he's in Italy somewhere over there where there's a saint something something, and apparently he was beautified by somebody chopping off his head, right? Because he switched on. He didn't switch off and said, okay, you don't have to chop my head off, okay? But he switched on, and so whatever thing that faced him, he took it and he became a saint. So he switched on. So Saudi Arabia is switched on, okay? So in day trading, there's a solid switch that turns on, like me being a Catholic. I'm a Catholic, I'm switched on. I'm on. It's on. It's on. It's switched on. But in trading, there's something that was switched on. Now, when that switched on, there has to be when that switch is on, the feedback loop has to like appear. It has to be turned on. The feedback loop has to come back and just switch on. And it cannot be eroded or it cannot be removed. It's permanent. It's in. It will never go out. Even under immense amount of physical and mental and anxiety and emotional distress, whatever happens, that thing is switched on. It will never disconnect between the logical side to the physical body that controls everything. But just last night, my body was doing something, and I likened the experience as being in a state of being a zombie. Right? It's a zombie. It's like oh, brains. Right? I'm just like it's like being like it's like being a zombie. Um yeah, I was being chopped up. I didn't even know about it, and it felt like I was in a state of being a zombie. I just anyway. Wow.